A critical point in the unlimited season. And the red boat is winless. Perennial number 2, Smokin' Joe's, still stuck in second. And the team out front, holding all the cards, refuses to lose. The Budweiser Columbia Cup in Tri-Cities, Washington. The first of 3 unlimited hydroplane races in the Northwest has brought a record number of turbine boats here to compete. It was here Bernie Little and Miss Budweiser won their first of 101 victories. And it's here they're looking for the first of this season. There is no joy in Budville. They've been to the plate 5 times, and 5 times they've struck out this year. Hello, everyone. I'm Dick Crippen, and coming into this race, this camp, the Budweiser camp, has 6 national championships. But the 7th is in danger at this midway point of the season as we start the Western Tour. While you would think right away that Smokin' Joe's has stepped up and taken over the throne, but in fact, it hasn't been Smokin' Joe's. It's been Pico's American Dream. Dave Vilwach's team has been just about flawless so far this year. With that story, here's Jim Hendrick.
Dave Vilwach and the Pico American Dream team has added a few more points to their already 900-plus lead in the O'Doul's High Point Championship race by being the top qualifier at 168 mile an hour, missing the mark for this course by a mile an hour set by Mark Tate and Smokin' Joe's last year. This year, Tate finished second in the qualifying to the Pico American Dream as we look at our top 10 qualifiers on this fast course here on the Columbia River. Of the 16 boats in camp, only Subaru's Aussie Endeavor failed to qualify. Dennis, this has to be a big disappointment to you and your team.
Yeah, one can't begin to explain, Jim. This started some 3 months ago, and we've sent the boat over here. It took 6 weeks to get here. We were looking pretty good yesterday. We chucked the boat on the water. It's my first time in America, first time on American water. Come through the bottom turn, boy, here. We come off the corner really well. We'd made a few adjustments. Got a bit of a slingshot off. I was doing about 165, 170 up the back straight, and she made a left-hand turn on me, and we've lost the rudder and half the transom. We've got a bit of internal damage where the quadrant is. We're in a heap of trouble here at the moment, and we're just working hard to try and get ourselves in the water for Seattle.
With 15 boats qualified, the UHRA has decided to take the first 2 heats and make them into 3 features each. For more on that, let's go to Steve Montgomery.
Well, Jim, the extra heats mean that the fans here in the Tri-Cities will see a lot of boat racing today, but it lessens the chance of the top 3 qualifiers running against each other. And that's what they prefer to do, because when you beat a guy, you put at least 100 points on your side of the National High Point ledger over that opponent. Now, we did have the camel-powered Smokin' Joe with Mark Tate and Mark Evans and the Miss Budweiser both drawn into Heat 1A. Tate was the faster qualifier of the 2. He took lane 1, and that gave Mark Evans a really tall task. He had to get around on the outside. Eventually, he had to settle for 2nd place with Steve David in the Trend West Resorts running 3rd. The only real drama came as the Smokin' Joe's was ready to leave her pit area. There was a problem in the cockpit. We asked Mark Tate about that after his victory.
It looked like to me that the electrical panel broke loose in a couple spots and was kind of floating back there in its compartment.
Following the draw, everyone smiled when they realized the fastest qualifier in Heat 1C was the piston-powered Mill Bay Casino of Mitch Evans. He'll be racing against the entire Jones family of boats, Mike Jones, Mark Webber, and Rick Christensen, the 2 Exides, and the Costless Carpets. Now it's time for Heat 1B, where our top qualifier, Dave Vilwach, and the Pico American Dream should have things pretty much his way.
And it'll be lane 1 for the Pico American Dream with Dave Vilwach, lane 2, DeWalt Tools with Mike Hanson, Tom Hindley of the Appian Jeronimo in lane 3, followed by the Elam Plus, Nate Brown, and it's his first outing of this year, and Computers and Applications with Ken Muscatel.
Now, during the testing period, take a look at what happened to the Appian Jeronimo. As they were getting the boat warmed up, the flame out of the stack actually burned the wing. They had to put a new wing on the boat. They tried to work on this one, but it was easier to go with a new wing, at least for the moment. So Appian Jeronimo is in the field as they come down to the start. Here comes the green flag, and they are off. Pico American Dream, Dave Vilwach leading the pack into the first turn. Extreme right of your screen, you see DeWalt Tools with Mike Hanson. It is a tight battle. There you see the Labatt Blue eye in the sky, giving us a great view of the margin that Pico American Dream is holding over DeWalt as they come onto the back straightaway.
As we look at the Pico team, they're looking for their 4th victory of the year. And this particular haul built this year, they're looking for their 2nd win.
They have two boats on the circuit. This is the newer one, and they like that one. There's DeWalt Tools, Mike Hanson out of Madison, Indiana. This is what he sees as he races down, and you can see the rooster tail of the Pico American Dream just off to his left. Now, he wants to stay tight on that rooster tail, but he doesn't want to get into it. Tom Hindley in the Appian Jeronimo comes around the turn. He is riding in third. First place is this boat, the Pico American Dream, off to the left of your screen. You can see DeWalt Tools riding in second. Pico driving beautifully. Dave Vilwalk handling the boat as though it's a glove on his hand.
He's got the smooth water out in front, but there's still a lot of rough water in that first turn. As we look at that boat just kind of slide, he's going for a Sunday drive right now. He's not being pushed.
DeWalt Tools, they lightened the boat in the off-season, and it looks like it's finally responding. They've been trying to find more horsepower all year long. He's got a very solid second place. Appian Jeronimo, the boat that had the fire on the wing earlier in testing, out and doing a fine job.
Now, our Zodiac lap speed 147 mile an hour as Pico does a little hop and skip.
Ken Muscatel and Nate Brown are battling for fourth place. There you see the Miss Elam Plus. Nate Brown on the inside, on the outside of him to his left. As we look at it, is Ken Muscatel. Whoa! Those guys really got close out there. That's what happens sometimes. You hit those rollers, the boat will slide out on you. You've really got to hold on to that wheel and fight the boat all the way.
A real good battle. A lot of racing is for second and third in the unlimited ranks, and they really thrill the crowd here. As we look inside, our Zodiac lap speed 144 for DeWalt Tools, 3 miles off the pace of this, the leader.
I'll tell you, that's a good run as Pico American Dream comes across for the checkered flag. Dave Vilwalk starting the day the way he wants to. DeWalt Tools, a good start on the day for second place. Appian Jeronimo finishes third. Here's your battle for fourth place. That's going to be won by Ken Muscatel in computers and applications. Fourth place, and there you see your winner heading back into the pit area.
And our Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows Pico, DeWalt Tools, Appian Jeronimo, computers and applications, and Miss Elam Plus in that order.
Well, another win for the Pico American Dream and a wash for the points battle in the first couple of heats. 1C coming up next. Coverage of the Budweiser Columbia Cup and the Unlimited Hydroplane Tour is sponsored by Las Vegas, open 24 hours, and by Ralph's, where you can find low prices and double coupons every day. Good crowd assembled here on the Columbia River as we look down on them, and they get ready for Heat 1C.
And rookie Mark Webber out of Michigan, driving the Exide 2, will be on the outside for the start. Mitch Evans in Mill Bay Casino would be on the inside. Scott Pierce next to him in Chaplin's Bellevue Subaru. Mike Jones in the Exide 1 will be in the next lane. Rick Christensen in Costless Carpets on the outside. And as I said, the pace boat will be Mark Webber.
And of course, Mark Webber has been an outstanding competitor in the Unlimited Light Series that travels with the Unlimited Hydroplanes. Also making its debut, the U-98 boat, Scott Pierce driving.
Miss U-98.
It was christened here in the pits on Friday. That's Scott's wife, Sue.
I gotta put it on the boat.
We talked with Scott earlier about driving this new Fred Leland hull.
They're really a joy to drive. You know, they don't work you very hard, and they come out of the box ready to run. I mean, they come out faster than, you know, most boats take a year to get to. So we're real pleased with that. We got 2 weekends really to get this boat up and running competitively, and normally that would be a task that could not be completed, but we think that we'll be up to it. We'll be able to get this boat competitive in these first 2 races.
The boat's coming up to the line as we get ready for 1C. There's the green flag, and they are off, and we get word immediately that Rick Christensen in the Costless Carpet boat has been penalized 1 lap for jumping the start. There's a look down at the boats as they go into the first turn from the Labatt Blue Eye in the Sky.
Boy, look at the way these boats are fanning out in this turn. Some of them are going very, very wide. As we look, it looks like Scott Pierce in the Chaplin Subaru takes the lead, and on the inside of him is the piston packer, the Allison engine-powered Mitch Evans. And look at Mitch come on in Mill Bay Casino.
Well, there's never been a question about the speed that the piston packers can get once they get that acceleration going. And as you can see, he rides right up there with the turbine on the outside. A lot of power in that former aircraft engine. Mitch Evans on the inside. On the outside, the white boat. To the left of the screen, Scott Pierce, a brand new boat sponsored by Chaplin's Subaru Mazda. And I'm telling you, not only is Scott Pierce proud of this boat, but I'm sure Fred Leland is proud.
Our Zodiac lap speed 136 mile an hour for Scott Pearson. Looking to the right again is the Mill Bay Casino Lake Chelan entry. Has the inside, which is the shortest way around the course, but you have to have the power to come off the turns as we look at our fourth place boat, Exide 2.
Well, as we should refer back to the lineup, Jim, the inside lane, lane number 1, was held by Mitch Evans because he actually beat the other turbine boats in qualifying. That's an unusual circumstance, but he beat all of the 3 boats that he was qualifying against for this heat. There you see Cost Less Carpets driven by Rick Christensen, and that boat jumped on the start, so they have levied a 1-lap penalty. So in essence, no matter where he is in the actual run, he is now running in last place.
Our first place boat continues to be Scott Pierce and Chaplin Subaru. This is Scott's wife, Sue. A little concentration there, wouldn't you say?
I imagine that's the hardest part of the race, is being a wife standing on the sideline watching the husband, especially in a brand new boat like that when he's still getting used to it. But he's leading the race, and that's a good news. Rick Christensen going by there again as he's now moved to the outside of the field to let the faster boats get through. He knows he's in last place. There's your leader, Scott Pierce, in that new Fred Leland boat, followed by Mitch Evans in the Mill Bay Casino, presents the Spirit of Lake Chelan. And there's Mark Webber driving without that horizontal wing. That's how you distinguish the Exide boats. The other one with Mike Jones has the wing across in the back. Your lead boat pulling him around, Scott Pierce. He's got to feel very good about the way this boat is operated out there. It's ridden very, very smoothly in the water, and the water's roughed up on him a couple of times, but he's been able to handle it. Checkered flag to Chaplin's Bellevue Subaru Mazda. Scott Pierce taking his first win ever in a heat in that boat, and I know Fred Leland and the rest of the group are happy. Here's Mitch Evans in second place. You don't think his mom and his brother are just a little bit happy? That's great. Second place for Mitch.
Our Field Loop scoreboard shows the way they finished. First, second, third, fourth, and fifth here on the Tri-Cities Columbia Cup. Now let's go down to the pits.
Good job, Scotty. Way to go, young man.
Hey, how much fun is that? Brand new boat, first heat of racing, and a checkered flag.
Well, it's the way to get him christened, I'll tell you that. The boat ran real good. Still have a few little problems, but we'll work them out.
Hey, the draw was pretty good to you.
Well, yeah, it just proves it's Sunday and God still loves Scotty.
The fans are assembled. It's a hot day. They're trying to cool off better than 100 degrees. We'll be back. Welcome back to Eastern Washington, the Columbia River that cuts right through the Tri-Cities area. And we are in for some racing in Heat 2A. Let's take a look at the lineup. The Cost Less Carpets. Rick Christensen will be in lane 1. Lane 2, Miss Elam Plus, Nate Brown. Lane 3 will be empty. We'll tell you why in a moment. Mark Evans and the Miss Budweiser will be in lane 4, and Mark Webber and the Miss Exide 2 in lane 5. As they take the green flag, we had the empty lane because Tom Henley was not able to make the start in the Appian Jeronimo. There's the green flag. We are off and running, and Miss Budweiser is setting the pace.
And the reason Tom Henley and the Appian Jeronimo did not start, their canopy will not stay closed properly. They have a malfunction as we look from the Labatt's blue eye in the sky at the field coming off of corner number 2.
As you can see, Miss Budweiser has a little competition on the inside. Mark is driving out of lane number 4. And he got challenged there a little bit by the Miss Elam Plus, Nate Brown, who's now riding in second place. As they go down the back straightaway, though, Miss Budweiser finds the power. That boat has really been coming on stronger and stronger each race. They're still looking for the win. There's the Miss Elam Plus. That boat is driven by Nate Brown, who had been a driver and then worked the crew on the Eastern Tour. Now is back in the driver's seat in the Miss Elam Plus. He's trying to challenge on the inside of the Miss Budweiser, but I think that Mark Evans has found a very good groove for that boat. He's got it tiptoeing across the water just the way he'd like, maintaining a very good speed and maintaining second place. You can see the margin as we look down from the Labatt blue eye in the sky.
A good lead for Miss Budweiser. Second is the Elam Plus, and currently third is the Miss Exide 2, as you can see them coming down the chute right now into turn number 1. The Zodiac lap speed 137 mile an hour for the second place Miss Elam Plus.
Good driving by Nate Brown, who's glad to be back in the driver's seat, and good driving also by Mark Evans, who is still sort of new to the seat of this Miss Budweiser. He's doing a good job. He's got that boat just balanced perfectly on the water, and I know that makes him feel good.
Zodiac lap speed for the Bud, 144 miles an hour, about 7 miles an hour faster than the second place Elam Plus. Here's a battle now for third place, and it's the Exide 2 on the outside. This Exide 2 was built in 1992, won the San Diego Cup as Coors Dry, and guess who was driving? Dave Villwalk in his very first race in this hall.
I remember that race, and he surprised everybody. On the inside is Rick Christensen. He is in the Costless Carpets boat, and he's doing a good job holding off Mark Webber on his right.
And they're both rookies, so it's a good rookie battle going on.
Meanwhile, up front, the boat is cruising. The Red Rocket, Miss Budweiser, having a good run. This feels good for the pit crew, too, who's worked awfully hard to find extra power for that boat. There's the win. The checkered flag comes down for the Miss Budweiser. Mark Evans. Elam Plus, driven by Nate Brown, takes a solid second place. Well, you can see the thumbs up being given. There is always joy in that cockpit when Mark Evans wins.
As our Fiddle-Loom scoreboard shows, Budweiser the winner with Elam Plus second, Costless Carpets, Miss Exide 2, Appian, Jeronimo, and that's the way they finished here in Heat 2A.
There's Appian, Jeronimo coming back into the pits. Let's go down and talk to the winner.
Bernie, repeat after me. That's more like it.
Yes, sir. That's the only way I know. And he's driving the hell out of the boat. And we really appreciate that. And congratulations, Mark.
All right.
Had to come from the outside, but at least you didn't have Dave or Mark in there to get around.
That's luck of the draw, and that's part of this sports situation. So, yep, the other two guys are going to have a heck of a run in their heat. But we're glad the Budweiser's out front. The crew did a great job setting the boat up. It's really rough out there. So I went ahead and ran the outside lane just to keep it as smooth as water as possible. But it's pretty rough everywhere.
And it paid off for him with a win. Well, here's a boat getting ready to go. Steve David aboard the Trent West boat. We'll be back with more racing in just a moment. Stay with us. It's a crowded midway at the Columbia Cup. The thermometer has topped the century mark through qualifying, and here on race day, how do the high temps bother turbines? That's the subject of today's Rancho Suspension Performance Corner.
Temperatures here in south central Washington this weekend have exceeded the 100-degree mark, and there's been a lot of talk about the effect that temperature has on turbine engines. We have seen our fastest qualifying laps run in the morning hours. So our question for the winningest crew chief in the history of unlimited racing, Jim Lucero, in terms we can understand, can you explain the effect the temperature has on the turbine?
I'm not sure that I understand it that well, but Steve, these engines are rated at 60 degrees. That means they make 2,850 horsepower on a 60-degree day. Then in a camel-powered Smoke and Joe, when you have another 40 degrees added onto that, as we have here at Tri-Cities, we can lose up to 300 horsepower. And the reason is that the engine takes about 300 cubic feet of air per second through it, and most of that air goes to cool the engine. Well, as the temperature goes up and the air gets less dense, there's less air to cool the engine, and we're temperature limited. We can't put as much fuel in. We can't make as much horsepower.
Here's the lineup for Heat 2B. Larry Lauterbach will be in the Performance Mortgage. Jimmy King in the Miss Lynnwood Honda. Mike Jones in the Miss Exide 1. Steve David in Trend West. And Mitch Evans on the outside in Mill Bay Casino as they come down for the green flag.
Good racing. Trent West is going to try to start in the lead, and he does. Steve David takes the lead as we go down into the first corner. Lynnwood Honda and Graham Trucking boat, driven by Jimmy King, is on the inside trying for second place. You can see him against the rooster tail. He's in the white boat, and right behind him on the inside is Larry Lauterbach in the Performance Mortgage boat. So that's the lineup 1, 2, 3 as they go down the back stretch.
Looking at Trend West, the U2, built in 1993, driven by Steve David, who becomes the new APBA president on November 1st of this year.
And, of course, the APBA is the ruling body, the American Powerboat Association of all boat racing. Steve has been a long-time driver. He actually started in his early teen years. And look at the challenge he's got on the inside. Coming up, Lynnwood Honda and Graham Trucking. Jimmy King has got that boat going.
Built in 1988, it used to be Mr. Pringles when Scott Pierce drove it. And remember the Tide with George Woods? You're looking at that boat on the right of your screen right now, coming back with Bill Booster and the team.
Jim, we're going to jump back for a moment here and go back to the start and take a look at a replay. We just learned about a penalty as you look down from the Labatt blue eye in the sky. Watch the second boat from the left. That is the Trend West with Stephen David. See how he kind of moves over a little bit and closes down lane number 3. As a result of that, he has been penalized 1 lap, so he has moved to the back of the field. Meanwhile, problems with the Mill Bay Casino presents the Spirit of Lake Chelan. Mitch Evans has gone dead in the water. Look at Jimmy King. He's leading.
Jimmy King is your leader in Bill Booster's Graham Trucking entry as he comes around now and kicks in. Whoa, he gets a little loose there. Jimmy's learning, and he's a good driver.
We've got a couple of new drivers on the circuit this year, rookies who are doing a very good job. The Zodiac Speed, 147 miles per hour for the Miss Lynnwood Honda Graham Trucking entry. There you see Mike Jones aboard the Exide, right now riding in second place.
Because of the penalty. And, you know, going back to Jimmy King, he won the Grand Prix version of the Gold Cup in Detroit this year. He's come up through the ranks just like the minor leagues in baseball. They have smaller class boats. This boat, of course, is the king of them all, the Unlimited.
And Jimmy King getting his first ever checkered flag in the Unlimited hydroplanes in the Miss Lynnwood Honda Graham Trucking entry. What a moment this must be for him. Second place will go to Mike Jones, a former American Powerboat Association president who now drives Unlimited hydroplanes.
Our Fiddle-Loom scoreboard shows the cumulative points in the right-hand column, and only the top 7-point getters will make the final here today.
And the only boat not to finish was Mitch Evans in the Mill Bay Casino. A little trading of buttons. They think it only happens at the Olympics. It happens at Unlimited races too.
Jimmy, a penalty on Steve David, but you were going to beat him anyway, huh?
Yeah, that's the way it looked. It was going to be a heck of a boat race. Just what did he get the penalty for? Does anybody know?
He apparently cut in on somebody sometime up at the other end of the course. We couldn't see it.
I thought we were going to have a real good boat race, and then they told me after the first lap was completed that I didn't have to worry about him anymore, but we'll still racing as long as he was going to stay with me.
He didn't move in on you, though?
No, me and him were clean. It was going to be a heck of a boat race.
This old boat's a pretty good runner.
It's a real good runner.
Well, the boat that was infringed on was the one Mike Jones was driving. He's explaining how it happened with his wife, the owner of the boat. We'll be back with more in a moment.
Jim Hendrick along with Dick Trippett and Steve Montgomery, and welcome back to Tri-Cities. We're getting ready for Heat 2C, and when it's over 100 degrees, everybody is looking for some shade. It seems that Dick has found some.
As you look down the pits here on the Kennewick side of the Columbia River, you're going to see one race team underneath the spreading leaves of a sycamore tree. It's Bernie Little's Miss Budweiser team under this mighty, mighty tree. And mighty it is today, but at one point, it was not so mighty. This tree was rather sickly, as were a lot of other trees in this park in Kennewick. They decided to cut the trees down. Bernie said, don't cut this one down. I'll do whatever has to be done to save it. Well, medically, he paid all the bills, and they injected it, they chopped it back, they made it a whole tree again, and now it stands as a beautiful monument. So Bernie Little sits underneath it, and with rights, it's called Bernie's Tree.
Computers and applications having problems. Ken Muscatel trying to start this race in Heat 2C. We'll see in Lane 1, Mike Hanson, Dual Tools. Lane 2, Scott Pierce and Chaplin's Bellevue. Lane 3, Mark Tate, Smoking Joe's. Lane 4, Dave Billwalk and Pico, American Dream. And that's the way they go as the green flag goes, Dick.
And watch the outside lanes, because that's where the competition is. Smoking Joe's moves on to the inside of Pico, American Dream, and they are tied up going down through the turn. Smoking Joe's has the lead coming out onto the back stretch. Let's see if we can see Pico coming up. Pico right now in second place. I want to tell you one thing. Martin Tate said before he was very upset about the early draw because he wants to go against Pico American Dream. As he puts it, the only way he's going to get points on Picos is to race Picos. There you see Mike Hanson in DeWalt Tools out of Madison, Indiana. There's inside the DeWalt Tools boat as you look down the course.
And down the course, one heck of a battle is being raged by the two boats in front of DeWalt. On the right, the yellow boat, the Smokin' Joes. On the left is the Pico, and here they come to complete lap number 1.
Boy, oh boy, are they streaking this course. Smokin' Joe's got the advantage on the inside. He was in lane number 4. Mark Tate took full advantage of it, but Pico is giving him no quarter at all. He's riding only about half a boat length back on him. They hit the turn again, and remember, the boat on the outside has to go the further course, but he does get the advantage of keeping his speed a little bit higher.
Zodiac lap speed, he's averaging 152 miles an hour.
Third place again, DeWalt Tools, and there is no shame riding third place to these two guys who are battling out front. Smokin' Joe's holding it in there. He's got the lead, and as you can see, Pico American Dream has dropped back a little bit. One thing, when you're fighting the outside lane like Dave Billwalk is, the boat does tend to slide out on you because you're trying to hold your speed right on the edge. You look down from the Labatt blue eye in the sky, and you can see the margin there. Now, there's your leader. Whoa! He got a little light going around that turn. Obviously, he's trying to hold his speed up there.
He sure is. He's 8 miles an hour faster on this lap. That's Smokin' Joe, and he's being pressed, of course, by the second place boat. This one, Pico American Dream.
It looks like Dave Billwalk's going to accept second place on this run and really save his energies for later in the day when he goes into the championship heat. Obviously, he'll have to battle this boat as well as the Miss Budweiser. Mark Tate is going to be very happy because he's in the points battle right now. Not only speed, but points. He's going to get the points this time. 400 up as the checkered flag flies out for him. Second place and 300 points go to Pico American Dream. By the way, what happened to the guy that was supposed to have lane 1? Let's find out.
Oh, doctor, are you going to need counseling?
I know, but it's very disappointing for this group. I mean, I'm more disappointed for the guys than I am for myself. I mean, you got to accept the good with the bad. Got a broken wire behind the power control panel, and it's very disappointing because we considered that another potential. You know, we were going to race with DeWalt. We figured, you know, given our lane position, we could beat Scotty and, you know, we'd get into the next cut. The trouble is with this format, if anything goes wrong and you don't finish, you're out of it. I mean, we're out. I mean, we're last place in points right now.
Here's our cumulative points on the day so far, and you can see completed an application, only 169. They did not start. Let's go to the dock.
Bill walks fast even when he's on the outside, isn't he?
The Pico American Dream boat is extremely fast, yeah, and we're very fortunate with the Camel Power Smokin' Joe boat to have that lane position there and that draw, and that's a big 100 points to us.
Got a little loose one time here. Gave us a little thrill.
Yeah, you know, we got set off in the corner a little bit, but that's going to be expected. The water's going to be rough out there, and you're going to have to drive hard and run the boat on a ragged edge.
Well, the Mill Bay Casino boat is on the ragged edge. Take a look at this. A big hole in the block. Oh, boy. We'll be back with more racing and a lot of hot action. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Budweiser Columbia Cup from Tri-Cities, Washington, Kennewick, Richland, and Pasco.
And here's the lineup for Heat 3A. Chaplains, Bellevue, DeWalt Tools, and Miss Exide in lane 1, 2, and 3. In lane 4, Trend West. Lane 5, Performance Mortgage. And on the outside, it's Exide 2, the Pace Boat.
The Pace Boat brings them down to the line. There's the green flag, the start of Heat 3A. Right off the bat, it's going to be DeWalt Tools on the inside. Looks like Steve David on the outside and Trend West as we look down from our helicopter view high above the course. Those two boats even, Steven, as they go into the corner. As they come out, though, it is the inside boat taking the lead. So Mike Hanson of Madison, Indiana, has taken the lead in DeWalt Tools. Now, I talked to Mike, and I said, Mike, are you finding more horsepower? What's happening? You seem to be getting better rides. right. He said he wasn't really finding that much more horsepower, but the courses seem to be coming to the boat. And his boat is riding a lot better in the west than it was on the eastern part of the circuit. There you see DeWalt Tools, and he is getting a good ride in that boat. They modified it, as we've said several times. They've lightened the boat up considerably in the off-season, and it seems to be responding on the Western Tour. There's Steve David in second place. You can see the margin right there. A couple of boat lengths. Steve David in the Trend West doing a good job. Incidentally, we noticed on the start that Scotty Pierce was riding without that crosswing in the back. I don't know what happened to that. He apparently lost it somewhere in there. We're going to have to watch that boat, see how it handles without that stabilizer in the back.
From our Labatt's eye on the sky, you can see the difference between first and second place. DeWalt Tools on top, followed by the Trend West with Steve David, who's taking a wider course in lane 2.
Well, we told you Scott Pierce had lost the crosswing. Now he's lost an upright. You can see only one upright on the boat now, but he's still hanging in there, and the boat seems to be responding okay.
He had lane 1 and got a lousy start coming into the first turn for the first time, and I thought he hit some rough water there. As we look at our leader, DeWalt Tools, remember this is a 3-lap preliminary.
Once again inside, and this time no rooster tails for Mike Hanson to look at. He's got a clear view of the course, and he can choose the water he wants. You can see the difference between the ride of first and second place on that shot. As you look back at Trent West, he's bouncing around a little bit more.
And Exide 1 with Mike Jones, Exide 2 with Mark Webber battling for 4th place.
You can tell the difference because there is no crosswing on the Exide 2. Mark Webber's boat, he's on the outside.
Zodiac lap speed 147 for DeWalt Tools, driven by Mike Hanson. And 6 miles an hour slower at 141 for the second place boat, Trend West.
Maybe they're trying to save the Trend West for the championship heat, save the equipment.
But remember, he had a penalty in the last heat. He needs these points. He might not make the final or the cut.
Meanwhile, the checkered flag flies for DeWalt Tools, and Mike Hanson, the entire crew out of Madison, Indiana, they are happy, and rightfully so. They did a good job getting that boat together. And look at the 2 Exide boats. This is the battle for 4th place. Let's see which one will get it. Looks like it's going to be Mike Jones. But watch out for the rookie on the outside. Here comes Webber, and Webber noses him at the finish. What a great finish for 4th place. It just goes to show you not all racing's up front.
Our cumulative point totals on the Fruit of the Loom scoreboard shows DeWalt Tools winning over Trend West and the rest of the field. Now Steve Montgomery's down with the first and second place drivers right now.
Good race, guys. We figure he just put you in the consolation, Steve.
Yeah, a little twerp, I tell you, but Mike's a great guy to race with, and I got to give the DeWalt team, and particularly DeWalt Tools, you know, congratulations. They've run great all year. They've been our best competition. It's so great to have DeWalt in the sport and have these kind of guys to race with. It's a pleasure for us.
And you go right to the final, young man. In a field like this, that means a lot.
It really does. When you got 15 boats, making the final is a big job. And, you know, our job is to make the final and have a good time, and I've had an excellent time all summer racing against Steve Dave. I'm just glad I got the other end of the stick this time.
That's right. Well, we've got some more people to go into the final. We'll find out who they are when we come back. Mark Tate aboard the Smokin' Joes, heading back out onto the Columbia River in Tri-Cities, Washington. Mark Webber, Mike Jones, quite a battle for 4th place last time around. They're together down in the pits with Steve Montgomery.
Getting used to the thing, though, sneaking up on the old man here.
Yeah, I don't know if that's good. I guess I'll have to ask him before the consi just what I'm supposed to do. We didn't talk about that one, though.
You weren't expecting him to go that fast, then?
No, we keep making changes to the boat every time we run it, and it's got good speed. It just isn't going through the turns. I'm down on power on this one. It just isn't, has no top end.
We're ready to start Heat 3B with Smokin' Joe's Pico American Dream and Miss Budweiser in lane 1, 2, and 3. Lynnwood Honda and Miss Elan Plus, and on the outside, it is the costless carpet, the pace boat.
As he leads them across the line, the green flag flies. We look down from the Labatt blue eye in the sky, and you can see right off the bat Pico American Dream in lane number 2, trying to take the lead away from the Smokin' Joes in lane 1. Meanwhile, on the outside, lane 3, it is the Miss Budweiser with Mark Evans.
Oh, what a good turn by Smokin' Joe's, holding that buoy line to give the battle to Pico down this long chute on this 2.5-mile course here in Tri-Cities, Washington.
One of the fastest courses that we run on the unlimited hydroplane circuit, and look at those two guys do battle. Pico American Dream, the blue boat in the lead, the purple and yellow boat of Smokin' Joe, Mark Tate on the inside. Now remember, Tate, when he holds that buoy line, he's got to be careful. He's got to look not, oh, wait a minute. There's a problem to Smokin' Joe's. We were just talking about the buoy lines. He cut inside. Smokin' place is out of it. The crew concerned. Steve Woomer wondering what in the world. Wait a minute. There's a fire. Flames are coming off the Smokin' Joes. Mark Tate has put the cockpit up. Let's see if he can get out of it and get in the water or something. Now, they do have extinguishers on board. We're watching the flames on that boat. Meanwhile, now in second place, the Miss Budweiser. The race continues with Pico American Dream out front.
Zodiac lap speed 147 for Pico American Dream, while the Smokin' Joe continues to burn. That's Steve Woomer trying to get his crew to radio the driver to dive in the water. He's just coming out of the cockpit now. He's getting help. The rescue crews are there. He's going to be okay. If he dives in the water, the heat is automatically stopped, Nick.
Right, he wants to try to play as fair as he possibly can on that. It looks like they got the flames out anyway, and that's the main thing. What kind of damage is done to the boat? That we don't know. Pico American Dream, Dave Billwalk now coming down for the checkered flag. No problem at all. He had a great run with the Smokin' Joes, but he held on to first place all the way, right from the start of this race. He's going to take the checkered flag, get the points. He's ready for the championship heat. Second place will go out to the Miss Budweiser, Mark Evans. Third place looks like it'll go to Lynnwood Honda.
That's your top three. Now let's check the complete order of finish in 3B on the Fruit of the Loom scoreboard with the cumulative points. Noticing that Smokin' Joe's did not finish and does not get any points. And he's in that battle with Pico for the O'Doul's High Point Championship. And the Jim Lucero team will have their work cut out for them when they get this boat back in the pits. Have to get it ready to race again.
That was a hot first lap. Didn't look like you were about to concede anything, huh?
No, I told the Smokin' Joe's guy, I said last time you guys are beating us today, if I can help it.
Looked like you actually could maybe stay with him on the outside, David. That's doing something.
Yeah, we put the good motor in, and it showed.
You didn't see what happened to him?
I think he blew up a hot end.
Puts you back in the driver's seat now.
Well, that's good, and we're glad to get the points, and happy for Pico and all the people here again that, you know, put us where I am.
Well, I want to remind you also that Mark Tate had a problem, if you'll remember, in the first heat. He was out there, said he had an electrical problem. Things were kind of floating on the board there a little bit, so I don't know what caused that problem.